Hi, I'm Noah, and I chose the conflict paradigm and decided to use the Marxist theory to explain the topic of the 2008 housing crisis. The idea of the Marxist theory is that the nature of capitalism creates a problem in a society that chooses to follow capitalism. It causes problems based on the arrangement of power between two distinct groups, one being the bourgeoisie. These are the rich people, the wealthy, people who have enough money to own things that would make them more money. The bourgeoisie term mostly refers to people who are well-off business owners, CEOs and such. They own really any sort of building or institution that provide goods or services on a vastly profitable scale. And then there's the other group of people, known in the Marxists as the proletariat. These are the people who aren't wealthy or rich. These are the people who would be hired by the bourgeoisie in order to run their factories, restaurant chains, and businesses. This is said to cause problems due to the vast differences in wealth between the two. To put it simple, it's the idea that the rich get richer while meanwhile the poor get poorer. This is exactly the outline of what happened to the American housing industry during 2008 and a few years afterwards. Those who controlled the money lent it out to those without it so that they could buy homes. And within these loans, there are many fees, stipulations that were designed to make somebody default on the loan. When you default on the loan, it leads to foreclosure. It means basically you no longer own the home and all the money that you've put into it is now forfeit. When the 2008 recession hit, it magnified the issue so that now no one was able to afford the loan payments as they no longer had jobs or the money to pay for it. This caused homes to be foreclosed on left and right. This made it so that the poor lost tremendously during this time. The working class, they lost a lot. While the rich, they gained a lot of homes out of this. They foreclosed on many people during this time. The base of my research, or my foundation, was the interview of a certain journalist known as Aaron Glantz and his book titled Homewreckers. In this book and interview, he went over the various causes and effects of the 2008 financial and housing crisis. The causes of the 2008 housing crisis was a mix between the ever-rising market for predatory loans. These predatory loans mainly came from private investment firms. These loans were already designed to make you default on them, leading to foreclosure. They were followed with many hidden fees, fine prints, not to mention the super high interest rates on them. And then when they were coupled with the big recession that hit at the time, the results was magnified. This resulted in millions of homes being foreclosed upon. During the time, no one was really spared from foreclosure. Some homes were seized for only as little as 17 cents as a mortgage. 17 cents on something that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Other things I learned about during this project was the actions of the current Treasury Secretary known as Steve Mnuchin. He, at the time, bought One West Bank, a bank operating on the west side of this country. This bank was going under during the recession. They were filing for bankruptcy. They had no more money as nobody could pay for their loans anymore. When he bought the bank, they were in possession of millions of defaulted loans. And when he bought it, he managed to convince the government to give him a sum of $1 billion to foreclose upon 1.2 million homes. Instead of using that money to help bail out the homeowners, the American people, they sided with the corporate side of things. They bailed out private investment and hedge funds instead. What really surprised me at the time is that there was already plans being put into place to bail out homeowners with mortgage relief funds and plans. They were going to give the homeowners each a large sum of money to help make so that they wouldn't default on their loans. They were going to put millions of dollars into the hands of homeowners to help pay off what they owed on their mortgages so that they wouldn't lose their homes. But there was a lot of controversy about these plans and what they should do. And when Steve Mnuchin went up to the government with his plan to basically pay him a bunch of money so that he wouldn't lose money when foreclosing upon these homes, they basically went with his idea. They gave him $1 billion and he can foreclose on over 1.2 million homes. That's exactly what he did. They put aside all of these plans to take millions of homes from the people. This isn't just including Steve Mnuchin. And he was just a big example of it. The government really just ignored the common people during this time, and they gave even more profit to big businesses. That essentially concludes today's presentation.